We've lost millions of dollars.
I am hundreds of millions.
Millions of dollars. You're going to take it on the chin. You're going to go, boom. You're going to go, that one hurt.
If you can find the right partner, it's like finding a good wife. Even though Eric's ugly and he's not my wife.
It's not true. I'm not ugly.
But if you can find a really good partner, you can become deadly.
Kind of to speed this up a little bit, I know we spent a lot of time at the beginning, but I think it's important that we do, right? Because a lot of it, the beginning is everything, in my opinion, right? That we spend some time talking about the beginning, because, guys, it's the beginning piece where everybody gets stuck. It's taking the leap. So I want you guys to hear my story, and I went from having a cush job, let's just call it what it is, right? A cush job, to making half of the amount of money I was making with a baby on the way. And as Josh said, for him, it was check boxes. Man, he's willing to do that. Check. This guy's all in.
He has a baby.
He's willing to, he's all in, right?
I know, Eric, he's not a piece of junk. He's going to take care of his baby. So that means he has to have money.
Yep. So, again, I wanted to really emphasize, I'm glad you spent some time talking about it. And I spent some time talking about it for you guys to listen, is the beginning is everything. I had the mindset going in. He had a plan, sounds like. I wasn't quite aware of, but
I had insurance policies.
Why wouldn't you? If you're a smart business guy, you have insurance policies, and I know exactly what he means right now. I didn't understand what he meant in 2019 and 18. I didn't know what he's talking about. I know exactly what he's talking about, right? And I can't hold him. There's nothing wrong with that. You have to if you're smart. But for me, which is probably like most of you guys that are watching, is all I really knew is that I wanted to take the step. I was willing to take the step. And that I believed in myself enough to know that I am going to figure it out. And we preach it, and we preach it, and we preach it.
That's
right?
the number one. But that's the number one step to being your first entrepreneur. Is getting the mindset you're gonna figure it out. You're never gonna quit. That's the very first step to being an entrepreneur. That's the step you took that day. You already tried it. You're gonna figure it out. You know what you kind of did wrong. My journey right there on that couch that night was a little bit different journey.
Sure.
I've already sold 2 companies. I had a few $1 million in the bank, right?
Yeah.
I was sitting pretty. My wife just now graduated pretty much medical school, right? I was just going to chill out, but I was like, you know what? I'm not. I was okay. My journey was trying to find the right, because I've been through these business journeys. I was trying to find the right person to run this company.
Yeah, it's a different dynamic.
Yours was, I'm jumping off the freaking cliff. Mine was, I already jumped off that cliff. I already proved I could swim.
Hey, and the fun part about what we was talking about, you were on the same journey of what you and I have gone. So I know you guys that are watching, there's obviously a difference between, where I was at and where you were at when we started. Completely different journey, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you put the effort in and you put the grind in, the same journey that you were on. Now, me and you are on it together. Fast forward 5-6 years of now we're finding that same individual that you found in me. I'm trying to find with you somebody else, right? So put the effort in, learn, be a sponge, and believe in yourself. Don't give up. It doesn't matter your circumstances. It's American dream. So
start
the damn thing.
You got to take the leap.
Yep. So fast forward. So
hey, hold on. Let me stop. I always say this because this is a very important thing right now. Because this show is about entrepreneurship. It's about being successful. It's about talking about the real truth about business, right? I cannot tell you how many times I meet with and have met with people that want to be an entrepreneur, right? But they always make excuses. I don't have enough money. If I get to this point of money, I'm going to do it. If I do this, when I get to this point, after I have a kid, it's not the right timing. Let me tell you something. There's never going to be a perfect time.
Yeah.
That was like the ultimate of worst timing in the world to jump off that cliff. Yeah. And that's when I knew. I was like, when he walked out that door, I was like, first of all, he's going to do it. And second of all, when he calls me and tells me to do it, I know he's all in because only way he can say he's going to do it, and the requirements I laid out that night to do it, you have to be all in. There was no half-ass. I did not sugarcoat it. I said, I am not going to I sold it, but I said, I sold the opportunity and the vision. And to be honest with you, I've already been in this industry, and I made a lot of money in this industry, and you saw that, right? So there was not any
I
like
wasn't blind. I mean,
yeah. So he took the leap. So start it. That's the biggest point of this deal. Start now. Start tomorrow. But start.
yep. And to shorten this up, there's been a lot of things happen, and we could go in for hours talking about it, right? But we went from that piece, and I wanted to spend a lot of time in the beginning, to kind of circling together, figuring out what our real vision was. And our real vision is vendor optimization, which is we knew all these industrial sites, all these construction sites, events, residential, all needed at least 2 to 3 to 4 assets, right? That being, and I know you guys hear us talking about them, is toilets, where we started, temporary fencing, roll-offs, and then lastly containers. And we wanted to take all of those, put them in one software, and be able to be a one-stop shop, so that all your construction site supers and PMs and your industrial buyers and estimators and event coordinators and residential people had one person to call for anything that they needed, to some respect, anything. I say that loosely, and to be honest with you, it's taken off. And that's where we started, and that long version of where we started, to having a vision. And then we had steps to our vision with little goals. We continued to grow year over year over year. We continued to prove my own self, my own worth. He continued to prove his own self and his own worth and what we had going on, and continued to get the right banking structures, the right financing, and the right help in the directions that I needed. We weren't perfect. We've made a lot of mistakes. We have a whole podcast about it. We've lost millions of dollars.
I am hundreds of millions.
Millions of dollars, okay? And we have a very, very successful business. Like I said, and we've lost millions of dollars. So you can't let the bullshit get in the way of your vision. We get hit with crap every day. There isn't a single day that goes by that somebody doesn't wreck a truck, or a vendor doesn't, or a customer doesn't leave, or somebody does this, or somebody quits. And at the end of the day, it's just another thing, right? It's, you take it, you figure out the solution, and you move on as fast as you possibly can.
Speed is everything.
It's going to happen. Speed is everything. It's, don't get down on yourself. You're going to have bad days. You can't let everybody else around you see those bad days, because then they're going to lose the optimism. You're going to take it on the chin, and you're going to get hit by Tito Ortiz or Conor McGregor, and you go, boom, you're going to go, that one hurt. And then you're going to come in the next room, and you're going to go, how's your day going?
Yeah.
Is everything going okay today?
Well, and it's talking, this episode is about partnerships, and although you heard about the positive partnership you and I have had, let's talk about some of the ugly real quick.
Yeah.
We've had some ugly partnerships, and not we left on bad terms, and some of them we have, right? But partnerships that are not willing to continue to push the business and show up early and stay late, that don't buy into the vision, they become abrasive, entitled.
Entitled is the big one, is what we've found.
Yeah, lazy. Entitlement means somewhat lazy, right? They become a little bit cocky, and not humble enough to listen to their employees, because they've been there, done that long enough to probably have a decent opinion, but my opinion is not good every time. So we've had to make really, really tough decisions along this way, and structure those decisions to exit partners where it's not going to affect our business going forward. Luckily for us, we were able to do that, because I know some of you guys watching on this podcast today, maybe you thought your best friend, your brother, your sister, your aunt, your uncle, a friend you just met, right? A colleague that you worked with would be a great partner, and now you started this business and you realize they're not. That was Erik's situations before. That's been Erik's situations afterwards. I fell in those situations personally, and most of those categories I just named off
Don't work out.
But it's okay as long as you can get out of it and you can structure it as fair as you possibly can. Sometimes it takes down the business.
Look, my personal preference is that having somebody that's in your family or immediate friend group gives you a bias when you're dealing with somebody and managing somebody, and it's very, very difficult. So that's my personal perspective, and I know you've been living it and you're still living it. And so my personal opinion is stay away from family and friends. I know it's easy. It's a simple
What's your biggest comfort zone?
Easy out, comfort zone. But I'm telling you right now, it's very, very difficult. It's probably very seldom that they're going to have the same kind of mentality as you have, the same drive that you have, the same grit that you have. So I would say suggest staying away from that. I've had very, very bad experience, but that's my experience.
Well, another thing too, like what's kept our partnership, Eric and I's partnership in sync, is jealousy, right? I own more shares than Eric. Eric does not get jealous. He understands what he signed up for. He understands, and there's never been, he's made comments sometimes, and I make comments sometimes, but it's never to the point where we're not going to execute our vision.
Sure.
Right? It's not uncommon for a minority owner or lesser owner to want more shares.
Why wouldn't you?
That's normal, especially if you're successful.
Yeah, why wouldn't you?
And it's not uncommon, but it is common and not uncommon for a partner to be jealous depending on where they are in that deal. And it creates a lot of, when you start making money, it can create a lot of issues. That was another issue we had.
It sure was.
People wanted to make the same as Eric being the president of the company for doing a way lesser position, taking on way less stress because he's a partner.
Yeah.
That's that entitled stuff.
For
right?
sure.
People thought because I was a partner or you're a partner in a company doesn't mean you have to work as hard. No, you got to work harder.
That's right.
Right? So if you are a partner and I'm a partner, I have a lot of partnerships. Sometimes I own businesses of my own, but most of the time I have partnerships. If you can find the right partner, it's like finding a good wife. Even though Eric's ugly and he's not my wife.
It's not true. I'm not ugly.
But if you can find a really good partner, you can become deadly. The faster you find out you agreed to a bad partner, you need to figure out an exit strategy immediately.
Yeah.
Shut it down, start over, buy them out. If there's anything to buy out, whatever you need to do, you need to move on as fast as you can.
Yeah.
Right?
So take our advice. I hope you're listening. I hope you're watching. If you liked it, make sure you like the video, share with anybody you think it might help, and support our vision here. We've been from, and you started earlier than I did, but I went from pretty much bankruptcy to multimillionaire in 6 years. And if I can do it, you can do it. You've had a different journey. We're going to talk about your journey and my journey beforehand on the next episode. But guys, this is all about helping entrepreneurs. This is all about helping people make the step. We're real life. We're not hokey. You can see behind us. We are not some media driven people that are just here for show.
We're not renting a podcast room.
We're not renting a podcast room.
We're renting out some bullshit jet and sitting in some fake jet chairs.
We do this on our own money, on our own time, and our own efforts to help anybody who wants to learn. Show some support. Share with your friends. We appreciate it. And we'll see you on the next episode.
And subscribe.